Publisher's note: The Lost Chapter. The original 1939 edition of this book ended with the conclusion of Part 4. However, 8 years later, in 1947, the text was revisited and expanded with the addition of Part 5, titled Mantram Mind Magic. No copy of the 1947 edition was known to have survived until one was discovered among the author's personal papers in 1994. This edition is the first to reinstate the author's 1947 revisions and his elusive Part 5, which to those who knew it had once existed, had become known as the Lost Chapter. Part 5. All that is comes from the mind. It is based on the mind. It is fashioned by the mind. The Peel Canon. Now and then the Himalayan Club would receive a short but interesting communication from Colonel Bradford. He was lecturing before groups here and there throughout the world, and he did not stay long in any one place. One day we received quite a long letter. It contained new information of considerable interest and was intended for all of the club members. The title of Colonel Bradford's letter, Mantram Mind Magic, aroused some curiosity, since the word mantram was unknown to most members of the group, though some vaguely recalled having seen it somewhere in print. Colonel Bradford's letter explained, "There is a slight difference between the words mantra and mantram. Both are taken from the Sanskrit word meaning instrument of thought. The difference is this: a mantram is a vocalized instrument of thought, while a mantra is silent. Whether you realize it or not, you create and shape your life with your thoughts. All things that become part of your physical reality are first created in the mind from the raw material called thought. Because it is an instrument of thought, a mantram is a tool which you can use to help shape your life as you wish to be. Now, in order to use mantrams to your advantage, you need to first understand the mind and how it works. Nowadays, the term subconscious mind is one that's frequently heard but seldom understood. Instead of subconsciousness, the lamas use a word that could be translated as superconsciousness, consciousness of higher order. The job of the superconscious mind is to take thought, which is pure energy, and give it physical shape in the material world. Whole books will be written on the subject, but just now the important thing for you to remember is this: your superconscious mind is a willing and eager servant whom you command by way of your thought patterns. When you think a thought, you issue a command. Your servant obeys by manifesting the thought in the physical world, where it becomes the things and events in your life. Thus, physical reality is a mirror of your thought patterns. Change your thought patterns and you change the reflection in the mirror. In other words, you change your life. This concept, as simple as it is a stumbling block for many people. They point to some unhappy or even tragic event in their lives and refuse to believe that they could have created it with their own thoughts. But if you examine your thoughts closely, you're likely to discover negative patterns competing with positive ones. In one breath, you'll say, I want to achieve happiness. But in the next breath, you'll give yourself 1,001 reasons to be unhappy. Your job is stressful, the weather is unpleasant, bills are piling up, you're overweight, the neighbors are noisy, you're late for an appointment, and so on and so on. So while your stated goal is happiness, your thoughts are working overtime to create just the opposite. A mantra is something you can use to unify your thought patterns and bring them into alignment with your highest and best desires. To start using this powerful tool, you must first clearly identify the rewards which life is to deliver to your doorstep. There is a very simple mental exercise that can help you accomplish this. It takes only a few minutes, so I suggest that you repeat it every month or so. Sit down and make a written list of the things you desire most. Don't reason as to what you ought to want. Instead, jot down your desires quickly, including everything that comes to mind. Now, examine your list carefully and ask yourself what rewards each of your stated desires must bring you. The rewards are what you are really after, so write them down also. For example, if you wrote, I desire a better job, what you really want are the rewards of the better job. Maybe you want the fulfillment that comes from putting to good use special talents and training you have. Perhaps you want a bigger paycheck and the feeling of security that comes with that. Or maybe you want the pleasure of working in a friendly, relaxed environment. The rewards you want should always be expressed in terms of feelings. Feelings, both bitter and sweet, are the fruits of your lifetime experience. They are the price. When you depart this world, you leave behind your material treasures, but your feelings remain with you always. So choose with care those which you wish to have as lasting companions. Now, review your list of desires and rewards you wish to achieve. Rate it top to bottom, and as you do, search for just 2 or 3 words or phrases to summarize everything. This may seem impossible at first, but once you look closely, you'll see groups of seemingly different desires and rewards all aim at a common goal. Separate your desires into 2 or 3 such groups and find a word or phrase to capitalize each one. To use a simple example, if you desire a better house, an expensive automobile, and a new wardrobe, the fundamental goal behind all 3 is abundance or prosperity. By now you should have a clear picture of your fundamental goals. So put them all together and state them in a brief command. Make the command positive, short, and to the point. For example, I demand happiness, power, and prosperity right now. And there you have it. When your command is spoken aloud, it becomes a mantra, or plainly seated, a device you can use to stimulate your superconscious mind into action. The word power is a good one because it will help bring about health, strength, and vitality in your physical body. And on the mental level, it will empower you to become master of your own destiny. Right now, at the end of your command, tells your subconscious mind when you want things to happen. Now, it tells your superconscious mind to get busy immediately manifesting your desires. Now that you have a mantra putting into use is as simple as can be. All you need to do is speak it aloud with conviction. Don't be timid. Feel the power of your voice and speak as you are commanding a magic genie who will bring you whatever you desire. Once you have spoken your mantra aloud with unwavering conviction and resolve, you've done all that's needed. Speak your mantra just before going to sleep at night and upon waking in the morning. Then, from the habit of repeating it at regular intervals throughout the day, if you find yourself in front of a mirror, gaze directly into the reflection of your own eyes and repeat your mantra with firm confidence. Then, you go about your daily life. Pay close attention to all the things you think and say. Be alert for negative thoughts or words that will send conflicting commands to your subconscious mind or superconscious mind. They will undo the positive force of your mantra. So when you detect them, stop, take a deep breath, and cancel the negative thoughts or words by speaking your mantra with a steadfast resolve. Of course, if you are in the presence of other people, you can't all of a sudden blurt out, "I desire happiness, power, and prosperity right now." In such a case, I will suggest that you use a mantra. All that's needed is to repeat your mantra inward and contemplate the meaning of the words. Since it isn't reinforced by the power of the voice, a mantra isn't quite as effective as a spoken mantra, but it will get splendid results nevertheless. Whether you're using a mantra, an important thing to remember is this. When you command the superconscious mind, you must focus only on the end result which you desire. Never try to dictate how superconsciousness will accomplish its miracles. The superconscious mind is far more clever and resourceful than you can possibly imagine. If it is headed off in one direction, it is not discouraged and does not give up, for it knows that there are 10,000 other ways to achieve a desired goal. If, though your own thoughts and preconceptions, you try to tell the superconscious mind how to do its work, you will only limit its options and restrict the magic which can unfold. The superconscious realm of your mind is a magnificent thing. It takes great delight in working to accomplish literally anything you desire. Desire is a very strong force, and when you use it to stimulate the superconscious mind into action, it will be thrilled to bring you your heart's desire in ways you never dreamed possible. Another thing you should know is this. The superconscious realm of the mind does not judge your thoughts before it responds to them. It does not differentiate between pain or pleasure, sorrow or happiness, grief or joy. A better way to state it is no feelings or emotions are present or unpleasant to the superconscious mind. Its job is to transform thought patterns into matter, all thought patterns. And it could not possibly do the job it is meant to do if it were to first judge your thoughts, good or bad, happy or unhappy, worthy or unworthy. In short, the wonderful simple secret which can help everybody achieve whatever they desire is this: change your thought patterns and you change your life. If you think trivial thoughts, the superconscious mind will flood your life with trivial things instead of the miserable things in life. Now, the superconscious mind is an extraordinary thing, but it cannot make use of meaningless thoughts. So, to be effective, your mantra must speak clearly to you in a personal and meaningful way. To make sure that it does, there are two things which you should keep in mind. First, as you grow and evolve, it's important for your mantra to do the same. So whenever you feel that your personal growth has led to changes in your goals and objectives, revise your mantra to reflect these changes. Second, your mantra must be spoken in a language which is completely familiar to you. I mention this because certain teachers from the East advocate mantras which are very well and good for people who speak the language of the East, but they are useless to people who do not understand them. Even if you're told the meaning of the words, they're just so much gibberish to your subconscious mind, and as a result, no good will be accomplished. There is one exception, however. One particular word which comes from the East has a magical effect upon the superconscious mind and also upon the brain and the central nervous system. The word is Om. Actually, it's not so much a word as a sound, for its value is in its tonal vibration, not in its meaning. Thus, anyone using Om for vibratory purposes will receive a special benefits. No matter what language they speak or understand, anyone that is who is ready for vibrations that are high and powerful. The use of Om, I shall call it rite number 7, can produce exceptional results in the right individual. When it is intoned correctly, its vibratory frequency has a very powerful stimulating effect on the pineal gland, which is related to the 7 and highest vortexes. However, your pineal gland should not be stimulated into great action unless the life you are leading is focused on a higher plan. Just as a seed cannot sprout in barren ground, vibration of a higher order cannot flourish in a consciousness that is not yet ready to receive them. Do not attempt to practice rite number 7 until the first 5 rites have helped elevate and attune your physical and mental being. Your vibration must be sufficiently high so that you are beyond the use of all habit-forming drugs, including alcohol and nicotine in any and all forms. To prepare yourself, watch your diet. It should be low in fat, and you should avoid sweetenings of all kinds, since they contain sugar, which is a first cousin to alcohol. Starches can also be detrimental unless they are thoroughly masticated, but once they are pre-digested in the mouth, starches are not harmful if taken in sensible quantities. And it's especially important to increase the amount of water you consume. The average healthy person should drink about 3/4 of pure water, 12 8-ounce glasses daily. If you are large or smaller than average, drink more or less. However, do not begin drinking so much water all at once. Instead, increase your water intake very gratefully over a period of 60 days. Water not only helps to cleanse your body of waste and impurities, it is also a splendid conductor of electrical current and sound vibration. Your increased use of water should take place first and for at least 1 month. Then you can bring to practice rite number 7 with good results. To practice this rite, stand on the floor or sit in the comfortable armchair. Relax completely, but do not slouch down. Keep your posture erect and hold your chin up so that your vocal cords are not restricted in any way. You can even lay flat on your back, on a firm bed, or on the floor if you wish, but do not prop a pillow under your head. That would thrust the head forward and cramps the vocal cords. Om is pronounced like the word home, but without the H. To intone this magical sound correctly, begin by taking a very deep breath, but don't fill your lungs so much that they are bursting with air. Then use a good deep full-bodied voice, sound the vowel. Oh. Your jaw should be halfway open, your lips should be in a rounded position, and your tongue should be retracted and low in the mouth, but elevate toward the rear of the mouth. Sustain the oh sound for about 5 seconds. Then continue sounding your voice as you close and relax your jaw. Close and flatten your lips and relax the tongue in a flat position, forming the sound M. Sustain this sound for about 10 seconds. When you sound O, you should feel your voice resonate through the chest cavities. When you sound M, you should feel it resonate through the nasal cavities. When done correctly, the two will blend together in one continuous Om, Om. When you're finished, relax and take 1 or 2 deep breaths before repeating Om. 3 or 4 times in succession is quite sufficient. Do not overdo a good thing, and stop if you begin to feel the least bit light-headed or dizzy. After an hour or so, perform the Oms again several times. When you're new to this rite, do not perform it more than 10 times in one day, even if you experience no lightheadedness. Too much pineal stimulation for a beginner is not a positive thing. It is best if you do not speak your mantra and perform rite number 7 in the same session. Rite number 7 should be performed only when the mind is quiet and free of thoughts. However, you can combine rite number 7 with a mantra to excellent advantage. When you are sounding the Oh part of Om for 5 seconds, allow your mind to be thoroughly still and quiet. Then as you intone For 10 seconds, repeat your mantra mentally several times. The mantra should be prepared before you begin, and it may be the same as your mantra. Be sure that it is stated in the form of a comment calling for the fulfillment of your fundamental goals. And be absolutely certain that it does not contain any negative thoughts or words that will cancel the good of your efforts. Because this rite is so powerful, it is intended for mature individuals only. It most certainly should not be used by anyone under the age of 21, and it will be most helpful to those who have reached the season of life when wisdom begins to ripen. In fact, once they start the job of increasing their vibrations, older men and women often make better progresses than younger ones, partly because they have learned to see beyond the distractions and illusions of the material world, where joys are as fleeting as dry leaves in the wind. They know that life's true rewards are to be found not outside themselves, but in the world that lays within. On their inward journeys, the Illuminati, the wise men of old, have all used rite number 7 to raise the vibration of their minds and of their physical bodies as well. When you do the same, you will move forward to achieve youth of mind and youth of body, together with the treasure of wisdom. In closing, I encourage you to take up the challenge and begin a new rite where you are. For though you have made splendid progress and though your accomplishments are many, the rewards you have earned are nothing compared to those that await you once you begin your inward journey. When you do, you will not turn back, for great things lay just ahead, well within your grasp. Faithfully yours, Colonel Bradford. After receiving this letter, the members of the Himalayan Club never again heard from Colonel Bradford. His whereabouts were unknown, and my best efforts to locate him proved unsuccessful. The only thing that can be said with certainty is that the Colonel's travels took him to places unknown, to adventures untold, and to marvels which one can only imagine. This is the whole book, 4 parts with the last 5th chapter. The secret of staying young is in practice of 5 Tibetan rites, eating the right food, drinking enough water, thinking the right thoughts with practice of mantra, and also use of the sound Om. I hope you liked this video and finally understood the path of younger self. Stay tuned to the next video where I show you how I start my day, what I read, and the current things in my life. See you in the next video. Bye for now.